In this episode of Jurassic World Evolution. Welcome to Jurassic Park. Just kidding. Welcome to Jurassic World Evolution. This is our part one of the series. Oh my gosh. Now, quick note, this is after action commentary. I got to go to Los Angeles, California. Oh, Isla Matanceros. Look at that. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, possibly 6 different islands. 5 to 6 islands from what I can tell. And that big one that's blocked off, Isla Nublar. Isla Matanceros, present day.
As good a place as any to begin. Isla Matanceros. It's a relatively
I gotta
stable.
talk to this guy.
Yeah, you can get your feet wet here, and you should, because diving into the deep end of the pool is where the big, angry, hungry things are. And, you want to be ready before you try that.
It's so surreal that I gotta meet
So it begins.
him,
again.
Jeff Goldblum.
The machinations of the ambitious, undoing extinction, playing with nature's laws. What can possibly go wrong?
Come on, Doctor. You know we've learned so much and invested even more in our Jurassic operations since the last time.
Yes, Mr. Finch, yes, the last time. There's always a last time. And a next.
Okay, now. Look, I'm Cabot Finch, Public Relations and Crisis Management, and I'm here to help you. Let's focus on what you're here to do, which is create dinosaur facilities on the islands we call the 5 Deaths.
Ah.
Las Cinco Muertes, because Spanish is the lingo of choice around here.
Claro que sí.
You'll start by building a Hammond Creation Lab. We've already started on an enclosure for you. You should just attach it to the side. But watch out for dinosaurs. Just kidding. But seriously.
Now, Jeff Goldblum has something quick to say about my channel and whether or not you should subscribe.
Hey, subscribe to Baron.
Alright, so right now we're building the enclosure so that I can... This is the facility whereby you... What? I was gonna say birth dinosaurs. We'll just say birth dinosaurs. I know there's a scientific term. The path is not connected. So this game is made by Frontier. They made the game Planet Coaster, which allows you to basically do really cool like park management games. Now, the criticism, you know, obviously Planet Coaster was a wildly successful game, a lot of fun, especially for those people who were playing Incubate, that's the term. You know, that love the dinosaur parks, but it was kind of light. It was kind of light on management, and I feel like Frontier was aware of those criticisms. They knew that they made a good game, and they wanted to make something better, and I think that the management side of Jurassic World Evolution is really going to show off. Now, here is the other feature where I think Jurassic World Evolution is just gonna smack you in the face with a dinosaur tail, mate, and that is the evolution part of it all. So, the DNA. You can splice genes, you're gonna be able to splice dinosaurs, you're gonna be able to make hybrid dinosaurs, you're also gonna be able to alter the genetic sequence of a specific dinosaur by adding in certain animals, like right here you can see a frog, and what is this, some kind of an ostrich looking thing, or an emu maybe? An emu maybe? What is Cassarius and Rhinocatus baina? You gotta say scientific words in an accent that lends itself to credibility, like a very hoity-toity British accent. But I wanted to really show off the genetic part, the DNA part, you know, the genome of these dinosaurs, because I feel like it's going to add a lot of flavor, a lot of replayability, and a lot of unique, you know, features. Like, you're gonna be able to watch many people play it, you're gonna be able to play it yourself, and you're gonna be able to, you know, pursue different routes based simply off your choices in terms of how to best modify the genomes of your dinosaurs. We're applying some alligator genes. Basically, whenever I saw an animal that I thought was vicious and mean, I wanted to put it on my dinosaurs. You know, I definitely wasn't trying to get them to fight each other, which we are going to get to see later on in the episode. But the whole experience, I'm going to talk about my experience, and there's going to be a lot of ADHD. If you follow my channel, you know that's going to happen. but we're incubating. It takes a little bit of time, and there's
Your job is
actually...
simple, really.
All right,
Create
Mr. Cabot.
dinosaurs which attract visitors to your facilities, brings in capital, money, huh? Which means you can do more research to build better facilities and create more dinosaurs, and there you go. A circle of life, development and resources, nature and commerce. See? Simple.
All right, so here is our first dinosaur, and now this is pretty cool. Now, I've got 2 hatching bays, and I probably should have had them going, but one of the coolest things is when you hatch a dinosaur, this little, like, mini video shows off your dinosaur. Hello, little dino. And there we go. Life finds a way.
It begins. The most precious moment. The result of incalculable actions and reactions, trials and errors, genetic mutations and unknowable combinations, chaos, all leading to a living, breathing, distinct and unique. And now you, just manufacture them. So, well done, I guess.
All right, so look at this. All the dinosaurs.
Your facility is now open.
Oh, this Cabot guy. So this is the Struthiomimus. And there's habitat, social. There's a lot of different, things that you have to manage to keep the dinosaur in an optimal situation.
3 main areas of interest: security, entertainment, and science. I've already nudged the heads of each division to reach out to you personally. They'll offer opportunities and incentives for you to be part of their team. Choose one of their contracts. It'll help you develop your facility.
So one of the things about the 3 different divisions, the 3 different branches, security, entertainment, and science, is you can focus on one tree exclusively to the, there are pros and cons to focusing on one or kind of balancing them all. There is a sort of competitive relationship between all of them. So if you focus on one, it will affect your relationship with the other ones. Now, there is a possibility to just focus on that tree, and go that route. So in this one, I primarily focused on security. So we've got a build and power and expedition center. And the expedition center allows you to go out in the world to different dig sites and hunt down different fossils in order to find, traces of DNA, which will then enable you to produce that dinosaur. So here's a little bit of the park management. You've got to kind of go within certain realms of influence of the power. So I'm going to have to do that. You can see the power line running from that power plant in the kind of upper middle section. And so that's kind of what I'm off to right now. I see a nice little place here, so I'm like, oh, maybe. And by the way, this whole time, I had one of the developers sitting next to me kind of being like, hey, mate, you might want to try this or do something different. And he was fantastic. He made the whole experience a lot more enjoyable. So look at that. Minimize expenditures on carts, but as Dr. Hammond would say, spare no expense.
DNA can be extracted from these fossils, which our scientists can then turn into living, breathing dinosaurs. And that's our true lifeblood.
Yeah, so this expedition center is going to be incredibly important.
Quote unquote. Keep an eye on it, okay? If you have a solid reputation with a division, you're more likely to benefit from them. Financially, I mean. But, like life, it's a balancing act. Each division is vying for your attention, and if they don't get it, they tend to take it personally.
Ah, here's the expedition center. So yeah, there was a little bit of, a little bit of info
And you'll notice
as to the competitive nature between the 3 divisions. So now I'm trying to find the carnivorous dinosaur. There was only 4 dinosaurs available on this build. And there it is, the Ceratosaurus. But you can see that certain dig sites are locked and some of them are open. I feel like this is a lot of fun. Like this whole searching. Ooh, and there's the 5 islands right there. The 5 deaths, as they're called.
I've got a new assignment that I think is perfect for your skill
$1 million.
Give it a once over, then let me know if you're interested.
So I was gonna find the carnivorous dinosaur, but then it's like, hey, get the Edmontosaurus, we'll abbreviate him, and get $1 million.
In our security systems, they're smarter and more devious than people give them credit for. but I refuse to underestimate their capabilities. That's why I'm always testing and evaluating our security protocols and barriers. And this is where you come in.
I've got to give this guy Lambert his due. He actually sees these animals as both opportunity and threat.
I need you to incubate and hatch some dinosaurs, then house them and ensure we have an ACU presence on the island. This is the first phase of this
Look at
project.
this. So there's gonna be kind of 4 different qualities of goods that you can get.
Good.
There's
Your first
fossils,
expedition team is out.
which is a tier
They'll
2.
bring back what they find to the fossil center for extraction.
And then the best one are like, you know what you saw in the original Jurassic Park, the mosquito and the bit of amber, that is the holy grail, or rather there's more of them, so the holy grails, a relic, if you will, for genetic, you know, material for these dinosaurs. Look at this, here's the overall system. So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 total islands. And if you look at the Isla Muerta, Isla Buena, Isla Pena, Isla Tocaño, like, si mi español es muy malo, no? But, like, there's different threats. And if you read them, Jurassic Park and Jurassic World was built on the original island. Now that one is kind of locked. But, las 5 muertes, the 5 deaths, right? This is cool. So I'm on the first island and it's a threat level of 1. Isla Muerta unlocked at 3 stars. So the next one we want to get to, we've got to get our rating up, you know, and then once your rating's up, then you can move on, you can go back. And from what I understand, if you wanted, you could just max out. From talking with the developers, I could spend my whole time on this one island where it's a little more, you know, easier to manage than some of the later and more difficult ones. There we go. There's the 4 different types right there. Or rather, you can see the mosquito and amber. And these goods, it's fun. The fossil center is very, very interesting. And I just think there's already, from the little I've seen, there's a lot of potential for depth in the game. So here is my expedition center. I should be sending them out. At this time, I was just so overwhelmed and just like in awe and happy to be there, right? It was a really cool experience. Getting to go to LA, getting to play the game for a good hour, and getting to interview Jeff Goldblum and just hang out with all the developers and the community managers for Frontier. Like, Ed and Bo are amazing people. If for, like, they're probably 2 of the coolest, like, community managers I've ever been involved with. And they're kind of the face of the company, too. Really good people. The devs are really cool. Like, you can tell that they're just passionate and they're about their games. They love their games. And that's really what you want in a dev, like, as far as, like, you know, a YouTuber like myself is, like, when going to these events, is like, you can tell when someone's excited about their games and when someone's not, you know? Aha! See, I should be hatching these bad boys at an expeditious rate, but you can see that for the Ceratosaurus and the Triceratops, I only have 20% DNA. You have to get your DNA to at least 50% prior to being able to incubate the dinosaurs. So here I am back to the genetic sequence of my Edmontosaurus, the genome there, and I think at some point I know I start messing around with some of them. New viable genome! The Edmontosaurus! Genome completion at 55%, so I kind of jumped the gun there. So we can go to the research tabs, and my gosh, talk about depth, the research tab is going to be very, very interesting to jump into. So we can go to, like, look at this, here we go. And then I see a snake. We got an octopus, some kind of a lizard, a snake, and a shark. And they all have different, you know, modifications to that specific dinosaur's genome. And so, you know, I think it's time to unlock some of them. And here we go, look at that. There's the emu-looking thing. There's a, you know, Komodo dragon. A lion. Hybrid project. See, this is where I'm very curious. Now, I can't get access to hybrid projects till I get to Isla Pena. And I believe that was maybe the 3rd island. So there's going to be a progression to the game, from what I could tell, obviously, you know, and that's kind of based off which island you're on. So there we go. There I am researching some of it. The engine database. Welcome. This is kind of, I'm assuming, kind of like, you know, where you go to kind of find out more information. A bit of the, what'd you call it? The wiki, maybe? You call it a wiki, right? Sometimes when I'm in the moment, words escape me. The Hammond Creation Lab. And these are all of the different buildings, in locations that you can get. So you can see that I've only got a few of them unlocked at the moment. So there's my little power plant, and there's my kind of 4 out of, 5 buildings. I'm curious how the monorail system is going to work. Like, will I be able to modify that? We were not able to do that here. So I think one of the mistakes I was making is not incubating that many dinosaurs. But you can see that, like, I'm limited in funds, and some of them get expensive. Especially, the more you modify their genetic sequence, their DNA, the more expensive the dinosaur is, and the longer they take to incubate. So, you know, pros and cons. So the ACU Center. Now, I believe this is when dinosaurs get out. So I want to make this clear. Through my talks with the developers and a little bit of playing myself, there's one key thing to keep in mind with this game. It's not a question of if dinosaurs will break out of your park. It is simply a question of when and how. There's going to be natural disasters in the game. The dinosaurs themselves, you know, might be able to break out depending on, you know, if maybe it's just inadequate defenses. But even if your defenses are great, even if your, you know, security measurements are just top-notch, the developers of the game wanted to emphasize the point that, you know, Dr. Ian Malcolm pointed out in Jurassic Park.
Life, finds a way.
Life will not be contained. And that's what this game is all about. So, will dinosaurs break out? Absolutely. Will they battle each other? Absolutely. And those two things are some of the two things that I'm looking forward to the most. The immune response 1.0. So it makes you think that they could probably be upgraded even further. Now, I feel like in my play session, it was like I got to go an inch deep and a mile wide, but where I didn't even, like, that mile didn't even cover everything. I got to just basically, you know, casually stroll over the surface, and deep down below, there's dinosaurs. You know, basically, just a little bit. And you can see actually in the lower right, my reputation with the security division is going up, and I don't have any in the entertainment or science at the moment. So this is new fossils are being discovered. I'm checking out the other dig sites. And what I'm happy to see is it looks like there's ample numbers of dinosaur dig sites around the world. The vast majority seem to be, you know, localized in North America. America, because everything's bigger in America, even the dinosaurs. But in all seriousness, where are them Texas dinosaurs at? They're probably the biggest. The fossils were just too big. They probably fell off, you know, the flat Earth. They're just so heavy. I'm curious about the monorail system. Research is cool, man. Hey guys, science is cool. That's just like one of those silly statements. The Hammond Creation Lab. And here we go. So now that I've got the Asset Containment Unit, or the ACU, it's time to start upgrading them. I'm gonna upgrade the Airborne Rifle. And that should allow me to tranquilize the dinosaurs. And there's the Ranger team. So we're gonna get to see some chopper flying and some dart shooting and Ranger, we'll call them the Ranger Jeeps. You get to drive those things. You get to drive those vehicles. You can take control of the chopper, you can take control of the guy with the gun, and tranquilize the dinosaurs, which is really cool. Look, see, there's a little bit of rain. Now, if you watched any of the Jurassic series, you know that when storms are around, bad things tend to happen, and that was actually quoted to me by one of the developers. And so on some of the other islands, you're gonna have to deal with not only the dinosaurs, but natural disasters, not just simple storms, but there may be hurricanes, there may be larger kind of events that happen, which are going to be, look at this, look at that, hello Edmund, how are you doing? Look how cute he is. So the one thing I have is I would like greater control and easier control of the camera during this sequence specifically. I'd say that in my experience, one of the issues I had was just camera control. And in certain games like Tabs, for example, where like the camera control is great, I can make little movies and I can focus on the key moments flawlessly. And I would love for, you know, a little bit easier of camera controls. And we got to see an early build, so, you know, I have faith, and I'll give my feedback to Frontier that, you know, that should be something, or, you know, in my opinion, in my humblest of opinions, I would like to see that. So now we're working on the ACU, because at some point a dinosaur is going to escape, and we're gonna have to bring him back. So that's gonna be a lot of fun. But I love the incubation process. I should have realized earlier that I could be hatching 2 dinosaurs at the same time. But when you're first playing this game, like, you're kind of struck by how beautiful it is. Look, here are our fossils. So we have to extract the DNA, which costs some money. So it's not just like incubating a dinosaur isn't the only cost. When you think about how truly expensive these things are, you've got to go and find the DNA at these dig sites. You need to then extract it. Then you need to incubate the dinosaur, all the while building a park, a facility to house them in and keep them secure, and having the support systems in place, like the ACU. And look at this. We're going to Portugal, Lourinhã Formation. And I forgot what dinosaur was there. They just said it, and look at that. Now, you see those little square panels around the buildings? Those are where you can upgrade the buildings themselves. One thing I was curious about, and I did ask the developers, will there be staff and park visitors wandering around all the park at the same time? And they said yes. There's no way, at least when I asked them, to, you know, and this may be changed in the future, I don't know, where you can have just kind of like staff-only areas and then park visitor-only areas. Look at this. Look at those feeders. Here's a viewing gallery.
Research, focused research. Well, that's something I always argue for.
All right, so the airborne rifle. I want to build this viewing gallery because this will allow
This next bit is gonna sound a little crazy because,
more
frankly,
people.
It is.
Ooh.
But we are gonna encourage one of the dinosaurs to reach our containment grid. We'll then react and see if our procedures and personnel are up to the challenge.
Oh, I love it. See?
So at this point, I'd like to take back everything I just said about this guy.
Oh, I love Dr. Ian Malcolm. Okay, man. Yeah, so that's funny. The security guy's like, hey, man, I've got a really good test. Let's get the dinosaurs to escape. And then Jeff Goldblum's like, this guy's an idiot. So we've got to power this thing, right? So I'm dropping, what is this? A substation, and then I've got to connect it to the main grid via power lines. So I'm just, I don't know, overthinking. See, sometimes I spend a little too much time on the power lines and the infrastructure, but it's gonna be pretty cool. This is gonna allow more people to view the dinosaurs, you know, and that should attract the overall, you know, more people to the park and kind of increase my overall stature. You can see right now I'm simply a 1 star. So it makes me wonder, how long would it take me to get to 3 stars and then unlock some of the other islands? Look at this. So we're opening the gate to let the dinosaur out.
Problems, bad things tend to happen. I'd prefer they didn't. So how about making sure your buildings have the power they need?
This is gonna be funny. So here you can see the dinosaurs, and this one is going to escape, one of my big Edmontosauruses. So once again, I just wish I had a little bit better or a little bit easier of camera controls, because seeing him run through that gate would have been really, really cool. And so he's gonna run amok. He's out in where the people are. Let's see. You can see some people walking on the path there. So at this point, I was highly encouraged by the developer. Hey man, this might be a good time to go get that chopper and go get that dinosaur. So now we add the tasks, right? So I want to tranquilize him.
Request acknowledged.
Now the chopper's gonna take off, and it was at this point the developer's like, hey man, you can take control of that helicopter. And I was like, okay. So we close the task, we select the chopper, and then I can pilot it. And look at this. So I was curious to test how easy it was to fly and just kind of the freedoms. So it's a little tricky right now, and I'm like, oh, maybe I can run into the monorail, right? You know, or have there's a little how close I can kind of get to these structures. So it's gonna take a little bit of time for me to master the controls of the chopper, but I was also instructed not only can you pilot the chopper, but you can take control of the dart gun. And look at this. So I'm like, all right, chopper, give me a better angle. And he's looking to do that, and I got a little curious. I can shoot the dinosaur, but like, look at that. 1 dot to the head, and see, like, I wonder, I'm sure you can upgrade the darts. He just shook his head. He's like, bro, don't even do it, man. Just let me eat in peace. And then I was like, wait a minute, what if you tranquilize a person? Now, I missed that shot, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna save that for a future episode. So at this point, the chopper has tranquilized the dinosaur. There's people walking, imagine if you're walking into a park and like, oh, that's a sleeping dinosaur right there, man. I would be a little unnerved. So we're gonna go ahead and close this gate. Now we've gotta retrieve the dinosaur, and this is one of the cool things. because you have a separate chopper that will go out and get them. So we're gonna go to the ACU Center, and we are going to get the transport team, which is gonna use like one of those big, I think it's a Sikorsky, I don't know, one of those big transport helicopters that's kind of hollow on the bottom of it, so it can carry like up to like shipping container size or carry giant cables. You've seen them in the Jurassic movies, like, and actually, I remember seeing like Chinooks and like twin rotor helicopters in the Jurassic movies. Now, they were often associated with military type units. But I wonder, speaking of military, I think this was not confirmed, but there's kind of just this playful ambiguity when I asked the developers, like, hey, will you ever really be able to kind of like militarize your dinosaurs? You know, like, will the security team kind of do what happened in Jurassic World, where, you know, one kind of minor faction within the InGen, you know, business was interested in training raptors to work with the military, and then it's like, oh, you know, when the spoiler alert, when the dinosaurs got out and they wanted to use the raptors to hunt them down, you know, when the hybrid got out, and I'm like, oh, you know what, he's asleep, let's drop him in the water to wake him up. So this is the cool part. I love this, man. Coming in, the chopper's coming in with the big dinosaur, needs to be woken up. Do it. And look at that. See, I should be pumping out dinosaurs, but I'm focusing and I just love it. See, look, he's got no food and he's got no social interaction. So while this is happening, I'm like, oh, maybe we go ahead and give him some food, because otherwise he'll die. And you know, that's a lost asset from a business point of view. And then from, you know, Dr. Ian Malcolm, that's an animal. That is human life. Human life? Did I just say that? That is animal life. They're not humans, you idiot. They're dinosaurs. They are animal life that we are trusted with taking care of because we incubated them. So now he's like, whoa, mate, you just dropped me in the water. You know, if only you could change the genetic sequence to make dinosaurs talk. Mission complete! Huzzah! Look at that. Security, mission number 1.
Job finished. True and square. Look. The thing is, we're still learning where our boundaries are when it comes to keeping these animals under control. God knows they're working out ways to exploit our weaknesses. Guess we'll find out who gets to the limits of our abilities first. Us or them. Ever vigilant.
And that's always been the challenge of the Jurassic industrial complex. Exploitation versus security. The immense potential for profit and for violence.
New research items available. Storm Defense Station. Ooh, see? There you go. There's a hint as to what's to come. Hello, dinosaur. It's another Edmund. You know, so I'm like, hey, Edmund's cool and all, but it is time to kind of test out the camera. And then also, look at that. And then I'm like, oh wait, there's 2. Let's do that. And then I'm like, oh, I want the Ceratosaurus. So at this time, there was only 4 available to us. You can see one was kind of previewed, and it looks like maybe a Brachiosaurus. But as far as the number of dinosaurs, I think they've mentioned it. Look at this. Oh, look at that. We're gonna extract the DNA. We found ourselves the mother lode. It's gonna take 41 seconds, but some of these resources here, the rhodium has no DNA, so it's not worth anything DNA-wise, but it is worth cash, and I can sell those. So here's silver. So every now and then you go out on an adventure, an expedition rather. An adventure for silver? An expedition, and you'll come back with different resources. And those can be sold off for cash, so it kind of seems like you may still want to send out expeditions, even after you've gotten all the DNA. You may find other resources that are rather profitable, So here's a nice rainstorm. I wouldn't call it a thunderstorm. I don't see any lightning or thunder. And then these guys are like, yo, mate, you what? That's my food. The Ceratosaurus. Now, this was, out of the 4 dinosaurs, we had 1 carnivorous and 3 plant eaters. Herbivorous dinosaurs. It's time to change the name of the dinosaurs, which is something you can do. So, recently inspired by some Super Bowl commercials, I decided to rename to Dilly Dilly Dino. Dilly Dilly Dino. And poor Dilly Dilly Dino might meet a carnivorous dinosaur a little bit later. But at this time, it's just like, I've got to say that this is in the top 3 games that I'm looking forward to in 2018. See, look at this. I can modify the genome of the Ceratosaurus, but to incubate it, it was significantly more expensive than some of the other ones. It's close to $1 million, you know, already. It was like 850 or 840,000 US dollars. And then once you start messing around with it, which is what I'm doing, I make these guys pretty expensive because I wanted to kind of, you can change their lifespan, resilience, viability, and prestige. Now, prestige is one of those things that kind of lends prestige to your park. The cooler, more unique, more dangerous, more scary, more large and in charge the dinosaur is, you know, and that guy's got a rather lengthy incubation process. You know, obviously, the more that will lend benefit to your park's overall prestige. So I'm hoping, I forget what I do, but I'm hoping that oh my god, did I really just look at that hatching bait? I'm triggered by myself. View the genome. Yeah, do it, me. Yes, we did it. And I'm gonna incubate 2 of them. This is good. And then I'm like, should I modify the genome or just incubate? And I think he's telling me right now, look at that, non-hybrid genome. So at some point, I'm very curious, when the game comes out, you know, June 12th is the release date for Jurassic World Evolution. The release date of June 12th will be a good day. And then I think there's going to be an update, whether it's a patch or a significant free LC, I'm not sure, to tie in with the movie that's coming out. I believe it's June 22nd. It's like maybe 10 days away. You know, somewhere between 1 and 2 weeks later is when Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom comes out. So what I did like is the incubation. If you have 2 incubating, it doesn't slow down. It's not like a split of incubation resources. You know, they each are able to incubate at their own rate, which makes sense. I mean, they're coming out from eggs, you know what I mean? So that is nice. So, Jurassic World Evolution. Every choice leads to a different path, and spectacular challenges arise when life finds a way. So, Jurassic World Evolution evolves players' relationship with the Jurassic World film franchise, placing them in control of operations on the legendary island of Isla Nublar, and the surrounding islands of the Muertes Archipelago, the Death Archipelago. Players will build their own Jurassic World as they bioengineer new dinosaur breeds and construct attractions, containment, and research facilities. So, definitely, top 3 games of 2018. Easy, boys. Easy. And I love my, like, kind of kingdom builders and park managers and tycoon-like games. So, we have none of these researched, but when they are researched, you can modify those upgrade slots. And there's different types of power plants. I'm wondering if you'll ever have like a power plant meltdown or overlord, and then overlord power plant. An overload whereby, you know, one of the power plants just like maybe gets struck by lightning or, you know, something crazy, a chopper crashes into it, I don't know. But whereby that could just like cause an explosion. Here we go. Here's one of the upgrades. So right now we're upgrading. Now, I have to say, during the hour that I played this game, all of a sudden they knocked on the door and they're like, you got 5 minutes or something like that. And I was like, what? I've only been playing for like 10. Time absolutely flew during the course of playing it. There's my 2 Ceratosauruses, because I think it's high time that we get some dinosaur battles. Because that's one of the things you could do. I think that you could take the parks in many different ways. If you wanted to, you could create like a dinosaur battle arena. And I think that's one of the things I'm kind of interested in. So this guy has no friends. His social, because you need to find not just herbivorous dinosaurs to hang out with other herbivorous dinosaurs. Oh, I'm assuming that there might be some complementary, you know, dinosaurs, like some complement others. That was actually asked, and I don't remember the answer to it. I think it was like, you know, are there any advantages to having certain dinosaurs from the same periods, right? And things of that nature, but I'm sure that some dinosaurs are able to kind of socialize with ones that aren't of their exact species, right? So this is a dinosaur rating of 22, so arguably Edmontosauruses are rather boring. They are 22%. Can you dig it? Use the Expedition Center? Yeah, we could do that. Do I accept this? For $100,000, And see, you can see who it benefits and who it decreases, right? So it benefits the entertainment, but lowers science and security. And I've noticed that with these teams and the tasks that they send to you, they kind of help you naturally progress through the game. You know, so they're almost there as a bit of a skeleton to kind of like keep you on track and keep you moving forward. But I declined it, apparently. I forget what my thinking was at the time, other than, I'm a child and I'm playing with dinosaurs. One dinosaur is ready for release. Yeah! Get out of here, expedition. Complete. Oh, look at that guy. Imagine a giant T-Rex coming out of there. Or an Indominus Rex. Or Velociraptors. Come on. Come on, give me a growl. Yes! Ah! Hungryosaurus. So now we've got 2 of them out there. And I hope I incubate some more dinosaurs for them to eat and feed on and fight with. Now this is the new one, the Ceratosaurus. Now he's got a dinosaur rating of 69, a very nice number, and you can see that my modifications bumped it up, plus authenticity. I'm not sure what the authenticity rating is. Is that because they're some of the first ones, and would that go down over time? Because maybe authentic, right? Is it authentic? I would guess that it's whether or not the people in the park have seen those for a while. Look at that, you can see one drinking water in the background, the other one's coming out here, and then I see that look at that, he needs some water. We got the water for him. But there's no real food for them to eat. And the Ceratosaurus, I'm wanting them to go around and hunt. So I think at this time I've got, what, maybe 5 dinosaurs? And it's time. Let's go ahead and get the Struthiomimus out here. Come on, make 2 of them. Make 2 of them me. Nope. Sometimes I'm a noob, man. Now I know what it's like when you guys watch a video, and you're like, why didn't you do this? I'm like, I'm watching myself. And I was there with my own thinking processes. But, you know, sometimes multitasking is tricky, especially when you play it for the first time. Hindsight is 20/20. But T-Rexes can only see moving things. Keep that in mind. Struthiomimus, still no friends for him, so that's kind of one of the things I'm working on. And what's that plant around him? I'm not sure what that means. Is he camouflaged? Or... You can see that dinosaurs seem to gravitate towards those trees kind of over on the western side of this dinosaur pen. I love it, man. I love it. This is a really cool viewpoint. It really simplifies everything. And I'm assuming that little brown line we just saw was kind of the extent of the park that I can do, and maybe I have to buy more later. I'm not sure. But, you know, it is going to be interesting to kind of see what are the physical limitations in park size. How big can one of your parks on one of the islands be? Because I would really, really love to have like a super park. Yeah, what's that? Maybe it's a mountain range and you just can't build on it, I would guess. Yeah, it looks like it. It looks like the mountains are a limiting factor, which makes sense to a certain degree. So, I asked my developer compatriots, my comrade in arms, my bratia parusi. I was like, excuse me, sir, how may I get my dinosaurs to socialize in a violent manner with each other? And he said, well, how about you cut down the trees so that they can see them easier? Oh, we got ourselves a dinosaur battle. So, this was pointed out by a friend of mine. I believe it was Blitz. He's like, you know, or maybe it was Gaming Beaver. In every official Jurassic game, the dinosaurs have always been able, look at that, Isla Matanceros. The dinosaurs have always been able to fight each other. I think it's just kind of a core tenet of Jurassic games, you know? And I would say that seems to be the case. Here is dinosaurs can definitely fight. So I've decided to, you know, forest up that area. And I'm running in the red right now, but you know what? You can run in the red as long as you kind of keep up on these, you know, kind of, I'm trying to build an island here around that food. So this is kind of the water mechanics. And look at that, we made an island. So if you want to get the food, you gotta go through the water. Oh look! Our first casualty. The Ceratosaurus has eaten a Struthiomimus. Good night, Mr. Struthy. Good night, sweet prince.
And now we reach the inevitable. Life begets death. But here's the question that you gotta ask yourself. Was this avoidable? The answer? Of course not. Death, it's always coming. But could you have delayed it? Well, that's maybe another story.
Now, I believe that combat with other dinosaurs increases the prestige or infamy of a dinosaur. And then people will come to a park like, you know, the more notorious maybe one of your dinosaurs is. And here I am messing around with the building mechanics. So it's going to take a little bit of getting used to, but I think once you do have it, like there's a button to make it curvy and a button to make it straight, and kind of getting a feel for that. And look at this. You can see how expensive these cages are. So building multiple parks, like I could have produced probably, you know, a couple of the Struthiomimus. We need nicknames for our dinosaurs other than Dilly Dilly Dinosaur. There's the curve. But yeah, I'm very curious as like if I can really make this efficient and like kind of follow the paths, right? Because I want it to be real good. And there we go. And there we go. We just built an enclosure, so I think at this point I'm going to build the door. And what I want to do is transport one of the dinosaurs. So this is kind of cool. In other games, you know, you may try to build like a network of gates and fences, but in this game, you've got helicopters that you can use to your advantage. So first, what I've got to do is go tranquilize the dinosaur, and then move him. So we got to tranquilize him with one chopper, and then pick him up, which is pretty cool. So they're gonna go and automatically tranquilize it. You don't have to manually tranquilize dinosaurs and do, you know, drive around in a chopper. That's kind of like if you want to, right? And I'm curious. I'm genuinely curious if I can crash choppers and kind of create calamitous events. So that over there, I just made it. So you remember in Jurassic Park when the goat pops up and then later the T-Rex is like, oh, that looks tasty. You can have those as feeders, which is pretty cool. So here we go. Dart that man. You got a dart in your neck. I love you, man, but you're crazy. And there we go. And there it is. To quote the great Dr. Ian Malcolm. Let's go ahead and tranquilize some other... So at this point I was like, I'm gonna put two dinosaurs in the same cage that shouldn't be. A more confined area means a higher probability of dinosaur combat. My dearest friends, Baron von Dinosaur Park. Alright, now we gotta add the destination, so I'm gonna drop him right there. Big boy chopper, but look at this. I wonder if I can make multiple ACU centers, which would be interesting. I'm sure you're gonna need to. The more dinosaurs you have, like if there's a multiple dino breakout, and you've only got like one chopper, you're gonna be, you know, fighting against the tides there. Ooh, speaking of tides, I wonder if you'll ever have like tidal waves and stuff like that, or floods that might affect dinosaurs. That's a natural disaster I'd be interested in seeing in a park management sim. Like, what if, like, based on the level, the height of the terrain, if certain things flood, you know, and certain things don't, and then it causes shorts and power goes out. Incubate more dinosaurs, Baron. Jeez, this is something I feel like I should have been doing. And yeah, let's get some more. And I haven't been working on my Triceratops. I should be sending out expeditions to gather that DNA right now. You know, but I was more focused on, I mean, I've seen Triceratopses. Now, what's that? Stegosaurus, or, you know, the hybrid. It's a Triceratops and a Stegosaurus hybrid. Oh, look at that. There's another amber fossil. What? Just check it, me. Oh, thank God. I'm like, oh, we should add this to the extraction queue. And then, through that, I will get over a 50% complete genome, and thus be able to make a Triceratops out in my park. So here we go. Now we're sending out some expeditions, because of why not, or maybe I'm just looking around. But I'm wondering how these things are unlocked. Maybe certain... Oh, well, they're different dinosaurs, so depending on what island you get to, I would imagine that...
Dinosaur on your hands. It's time to treat it.
Ooh.
Or what comes next, that's gonna be on your hands as well.
Uh-oh. I don't want to let a dinosaur die on my watch. So we need to make us a ranger station. Water. Nectar of the gods. There's the storm defense station. I think it just probably gives you an early warning. You know, and then I'm like, oh man, I'm running out of room. What do I do? Where do I put this thing? I think I find room up there, is it? I think I try to put it here. But there's like not much room. So I'm gonna go ahead and clear out this forest. And then try to find room. But this is gonna give me access to the Jeep, which is gonna let me go inside the pens. This is gonna be interesting. I wonder how, if you send Jeeps in certain pens with very aggressive and dangerous dinosaurs, will they attack the Jeep? That's one of the things I wasn't able to see. They do have tranquilizers, but I mean, I would love to see an Indominus Rex like go cloak mode and then ambush one of your Jeeps. That'd be really, really cool. But I guess he'd have to eat out the chip too. Yay, we get a Triceratops. Let's go ahead and release the dinosaur. And then I've already seen these guys come out. We've got some Edmonds popping out. So I've got to do the queue until they're out, and then I can go ahead and make my Triceratops. Release in progress. Old boy. By the way, I'm about to go play Pirates on stream. I'm very excited. But I'm more excited for this. This is going to be one of those games I'm going to stream a lot. I stream on Facebook, and I'm going to be streaming this game considerably, making good amount of YouTube content for it. Whether it'll be... I know for a fact it'll be on Baron Von Games, but will it be on Baron Von Tactics as well? I don't know. But as it's one of my top 3 games, like, there will be ample supply of footage of this game on my... Now, what's up? Build cost is too steep. Oh, there we go. But I find a sweet spot. Not the build cost was too... Oh. I had low money. Oh, that's cool. I didn't notice that. I thought the grade of the terrain was too steep, so I couldn't build there. But it seems like if you built it on uneven terrain, it just increased the cost, which would make sense, fundamentally, you know? You'd have to spend more on... Or maybe it was, you know, maybe that's something to be determined. Maybe that could be a technology you could unlock. Where you could have kind of stilted and better supported... Ooh! That looks like a hurricane thing to me, man. So we got substation range on the power. I think that, like, might be, like, if it can endure storms to a certain degree. So here's a question for you, Barons Brigade. When I get in this game around June 12th, when it is released to the wild, just like an angry Tyrannosaurus Rex, looking to consume all of YouTube, what should we do with our park? Which of the branches do you think sounded more interesting? Science, entertainment, or security? And I love how that's playful security. Look, ooh, you can have 2 ranger teams. That's cool. So at this point, I get to drive the vehicle. Control this ranger team. And this is one of the interesting things. Now, you gotta keep... This isn't Grand Theft Auto. The people will move, and your car kind of slows out. So I don't think you're able to really, like, run them over. Yeah, they definitely kind of move out of the way. You're not advised, and I don't think this game is about taking a Jeep and running over... Oh! But that was awesome, man. I loved how, like, I think you can flip your Jeep, man. So at this point, I'm approaching the gates, because I gotta go heal that dinosaur. But I'm also having so much fun driving the Jeep around. Hello, friends! But yeah, so I'm not sure whose staff... I guess those guys in the military-looking cargo pants and, you know, the uniforms, those guys are probably... There's my gate, so it's time to enter Jurassic Park. Now, as far as vehicles goes, I'm curious what other vehicles there are. So at this point, it's like we gotta heal the dino. So we're gonna go medicate him, and I'm gonna let them do their thing. But I know those those glass orb type vehicles are gonna be in the game. We've seen them in the trailers and stuff like that. So anyway, guys, that does it for my playthrough. Let me know what you'd like me to talk about. If you have any questions about it, feel free to drop them in the comments. What you think would be fun, what you're looking forward to most, what you may be curious about, or kind of like, I hope that they address this. You know, what are your worries? What are your hopes, your dreams for Jurassic World Evolution? My name is Baron. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
An icebreaker question of mine that I like to ask is, what would you say you most best do least?
What? What do I...
Most best do least.
Uh-huh. I think that's from a poem, you know. When in fortune and men's eye, when in out of fortune and men's eyes, I
Is that really
So yes, it's a Shakespearean sonnet. And when deathless heaven hears my bootless cries, satisfied least with what I do most, or something like that.
Okay.
Reminds me of something like that. Yeah. Anyway, the meat and potatoes answer to the question, what do I do least that I do best? Is that kind of it? Say it again.
It's open to the beauty of it is it's open to interpretation.
I love that. Poetical, ambiguous. Say it again. So say it again.
What would you most best do least?
What do I most best
Do least.
do least?
Yeah.
What do I most best do least? I most best just breathe.